Welcome everyone. My name's Chris, and today I'm going to show you my method for setting up audiobooks by making a simple, easy to use template for each book. It takes a little time up front, but the half an hour it takes up front means that I can have distinguishable character voices every single time. I will get more dynamics, and I will have a better quality at the end. That is the goal with audiobooks, is to stand out. I am currently using Reaper. You can easily use Pro Tools, Studio One, Ableton Live, even Audacity. But if you're using Adobe Audition, click off now. This is not for you. To do this in Adobe Audition would take about 9 to 10 hours more, and it's not worth it. So for this, the higher end DAWs, they're pretty similar, and you can easily do this. So this is my Reaper setup right now. If you set up your Reaper, you will have your effects racks already on. I would recommend leaving your cleaners alone. So that's what I have here, and then remove everything else, because you're going to put those on each individual character track as we build it. For right now, I'm using a sample story that I have been working on. And the very first thing you really need to do is get your characters together. Know how to get them together fast, easy, and simple. So I'm going to grab an AI. I have DeepSeek up right now, but you could easily use Claude, ChatGPT, Grok. We're not going to mention that one, but there's quite a few that will do this generally and easily. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop our file just into the program. This works on all of the major AIs. Don't worry. Doing this with Copilot is a lot trickier. I would not recommend Microsoft's Copilot for this. It just does not do the thing that we need. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, can you list all the characters in order of how often their dialogue comes up in the story? Next to, and always put next to, otherwise it'll give you 3 or 4 sets of lines and it's a pain in the butt. Next to each character, list their voice traits using, my favorite go-to is the Laban efforts. Add in voice age, any distinct characteristics, and accents. For this, there are no accents. I don't do them well, so I don't write them in. So we have any distinct character accents. Add in any suggested plugin modifications, example, robotic voice, monster or demon voice. Let's see, anything else that I think would be in this? And tonal quality. Would be another good one. But I'm going to go with pitch for the voice, because the tonal quality is not going to matter as much as the pitch for me. Add in whatever you think you need. That's the key. The next thing I'm going to add in, and this is going to save you a lot of time, add in the longest dialogue line for each character under the above as a sample. That is very important to add in so you don't have to do it yourself. And then you just hit go, and within a minute or so, it should pop out. They do come out rather fast, depending on the length. This is 10,000 words, so it's short. But depending on the AI, it can kick it out pretty quickly. Now, the reason I did ask for voice distinctions with Laban efforts is because I've studied the Laban efforts on my own, and I like how they work. If you have another one that you like, go for it. And you can see, oh, it's busy. And if I can't get it on the third run, I will move to another AI, copy and paste, and show you another AI. Which it looks like it's not going to let me have it. So I'm going to copy this. I'll open it up in Claude. And I'll open Claude in the big window. But it's the same exact process. And then once you see your document, just click it in. Claude will be faster because this one, apparently DeepSeek doesn't work today. And here we go. It's just kicking out everything we need to know. So I'll slow it down and show you. Main character is this person. She's the main protagonist. Voice age about 17. Laban effort, strong, direct, quick, and bound. Don't understand that, but okay. Raw, fierce, commanding, mid-low for her age. And it's giving me tiny sample lines. But it should be enough. To get us going. Now, the quickest way, and it did include the narrator who speaks the most. Your narrator is always a character. So I'm going to copy this and bring it over to my document. And this is just I put it in with my actual text, but you would put it in a blank document. So here's basically what I will have. And while this is nice, it's not exactly what I wanted. So I do have another file that I did with another AI. And it's giving me a little more detail. So here's a sample from Grok. So I changed her name And in here you can see all of that. Her longer lines are down here. It gives you the quality and the pitch. And they were changing it up. So there are different ways to do this. For right now, this is good enough for me and for what I'm doing. Now, once that is done, I will go back into my file, and with the characters listed, we are going to start building our files. So the first one I'm going to do is right here. I'm going to click this and type the word bus, and it's supposed to have 2 S's, because this is not the school bus, although that is the principle on how it works, is you have the driver up front operating the bus, or in this case, operating your primary effects for cleaning everything. And then you're going to have all of your passengers, which are your characters. And then down here, this is going to be my noise floor. And you absolutely need a noise floor track. Absolutely, every time. Next part I'm going to do is go right in here and start framing this one out. If you click and hold the left mouse key down and you start pulling up, you get this cute little icon behind you. It's an aux cable plug, and you're going to put it right here on the bus. When you do that, you need to come right over here to post fader, post pan. What I tend to like is post effects, because it gives me what I'm looking for. So any effect I put on this track, these come after. Now you can do it in reverse. So it cleans first and then runs through all the other effects. And that's actually what I tend to go back and forth. It works either way. For this, I'm just going to leave pre-fader, pre-effects. Now, the next thing is starting your character. So right-click, duplicate track. And this is giving me 10 characters. I'm only going to do a couple to show you how I do it. So first, we're going to go with Laura, because that's the name she has up here. Kale, Vex, and Marla. Okay. The bus at this point is done. You're not going to do anything on the bus. Now, if you do something like I just did, and I forgot the number 1 character, I'm going to duplicate. So now I have 2 Lauras. Just going to change this to my narrator, because the narrator needs their line. The narrator line is the one you're going to actually record your entire chapter on. So my chapter will come all in here on narrator, and then when I go into editing, I will bring down every character's voice. Now, for me, I color code these. It is very, very easy to color code them, and it will make your life so much easier. So I always put my protagonist as a pink or a red. So it's right click, same menu, because here's your duplicate, but it's down 2/3 of the way to color track, set track, custom color. This is one of the 3 guys, so I'm just going to pick the next color and the next color. And I tend to use the stereotypical colors just because they're there. Okay, so just as simple as that. Now, if you needed more characters, and I tend to do this, is I will always have one or two that are standard color. Okay. That way, if you have an extra character that is 1 line, 2 lines, and throws away, you can just throw them onto an extra level. And you can just keep duplicating this until you have enough characters. Put the characters with the most lines at the top. So these are the 4 main characters for this series. Now the next part is the fun part. And the part I don't have recorded. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab a different project and he has a lot of lines in here. So what I would do is I would take the sample lines, record them. Again, this is a really short little mini 15-minute mini series. Their lines are not long. Nothing in this is long. So I'm not surprised that I only got 1 little line. On another one that I'm working on, and I will pull that one up, is this guy. It's called Souls Crossing. I'm working on this as well. Here's what I got for each of them. It tells me their dialogues. And when I did it, I had a really detailed lines. But what you would do is go in and record each one. The way to split these is the S key. All of the dolls pretty much use the S key. And then all you're going to do is split on the left, right, and be done. So here's my noise floor. I'm going to hit the S key, come down, and we're going to put the noise floor right there. Going to come up, we're going to bring that down. And then I'm going to come back here. And I don't have any noise floor at the end. This is a different style project. This is an audio drama. So it's completely different. But on your noise floor, I will show you how to use the noise floor real quick. I do watch my meters. To use your meter for mono in Reaper, it's the middle numbers you're looking for. If you're doing stereo, it's the 2 outer numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. M is mute, S is solo. So I'm going to solo this down here. And I have it running. Okay. So I'm going to go to Clarity VX. I absolutely recommend Clarity VX. This nice little simple guy, because you can turn it up as high as you need to. The reason I have the stereo up is this is a stereo file. And I just switched settings. So this is a stereo file. That's why I'm watching right here on the outside. And you want to bring that down and really far down. So you want to bring it between your about 78 to 784 is what you're looking for. He had bleed in this from the audio drama from other people doing their work. That's why it's there. The next one I would put down here, and this is the only time I ever do this one. It's NS1. Never use NS1 on your vocal track. Never use it as a primary cleaner. It just destroys everything. Absolutely destroys everything. You would obviously be using something as simple as a there we go. I think he's about here. This will take out your computer noises for your noise floor, but use Clarity, use RX Standard. You can clean everything with those. So I am ranging right about where I want to be. ACX is negative 60. 60 on here is down on the side here. So I am right where I want to be in the 78 to 84 range. Or on this side, I am in the 72. Could probably crank him up a little bit. So NS1 would be on my noise floor track. Now, chapters, as we all know, are long. First thing I would do here is to remove this little cough. And I'm going to show you in another video how I just did that. That was a one click and done. And you can see that I still have a noise floor. I still have a little bit of noise floor here, so I am in range. Okay, so that's how you get your noise floor set up. The next part of this is the fun part. I'm just going to stop that. I'm going to remove this section. Double click on the left side. It selects the entire track. So double click, Control D or Command D. And then each time I hit the D, because I hold down the Control, or you can hold down your Command key, it'll do it once. Now, if you have a track that's a little longer, I would recommend pulling up maybe like 2 minutes as I have here. Double it and then hit double. So Control D, and you can see it just does it faster. And if you just hold it down, eventually you'll hit infinite time. Now, I don't have anything this long. This is like 4 hours worth, which I don't think we need. So I'm just going to delete most of this. And then that's basically how you would do this part. I would set this up at the beginning. That's all you really need, is it set up at the beginning. Now, I'm just going to move up here for right now. We're going to take the solo off of here, and we're going to mute it for this point.
I don't like where you're steering this conversation, Stig. You know my loyalty runs deeper than the ocean itself.
Now, what I would do is, if this was the samples, I would come back up here and remove this selection. And I am going to go in nice and close so I can see where I'm going. And we're going to pretend that this section here is our female protagonist speaking. So you need to do this. How do we do it? Very easy. We'll go. You're going to hit click right before the section. Hit the S key. Click after the section. Hit the S key. and pull it down. Say this is the response from character 2. I would hit the S key, pull it down. Okay, we have something here. We took a deep breath, don't need it. All of a sudden, you have a gap. You need the gap because it gives the pacing you want. But you have a gap. How do you fill this gap? You don't. You have a noise floor. That's what the noise floor is for. That will fill in all the gaps so that you don't have negative infinity or what sounds like a really bad click in your audio. A lot of clicks that I find in the advanced audio is from not lining these up and having something missing. Now, I'm going to do some advanced editing in another video. So all I'm doing is hitting the S key on either side, pull it down, that's it. And that's where you're going to go with this. So when you're going to do all this, we're going to take each character, and I know them well enough that I can give you an idea of what we're going to do to each character's voice. Okay, so we're at the very beginning. We're going to start with Lyra. She's a teenager, female, and I'm going to do some basic compression, so you can use whatever compressor you want. Stock here is Rhea Comp. This is my stock compressor. I would also use Rhea EQ is another one. These are stock, so I'm just going to put stock up for right now. And you would set it in accordance to what works for that character. So highlight.
I wonder how they will come at us.
Bring that down. Auto release. 4:1 ratio.
I wonder how they will come at us.
And auto makeup.
I wonder how they will come at us.
Okay.
I wonder.
So that's basics. I'm going to tell you the best trick in Reaper is the presets for the EQs. So you can get all kinds of wonderful effects just using these presets. These bottom 3 are custom made, but most of this works wonders. If you need to record immediately, bonus tip here, and you've been sick, cold, allergies, whatever, add this to the end of your chain, your effects chain or effects rack, and it will demud you and take away your cold, your darkness in your voice. This works amazing. Now, this is just a standard guy, and I'm not a guy. So one thing I'm going to use, and these are built-ins for Reaper. I'm going to use a Rhea pitch. I actually really love Rhea pitch. For Rhea pitch, and I will do an entire video on all of these. That's why I'm going to go through them fast. The only time you use a full octave shift down is if you're doing a demon voice or like a dragon voice. You do not want to use the full octave shifts. I normally use a sense with a semitone. So being male, I would probably put it like a little down in the 2 maybe, with a counterbalance up in the sense. Do I understand exactly what I'm doing? No, I just do it to ear. Definitely want to play with these. Rubber band gives you really cool monster effects. This guy will give you a really cool growl and rumble. A lot of what I will do goes back and forth. They have 2 variations here, and they do sound different. So this Pro and this Pro do not sound the same. So use the one that sounds the best. Wet means high effects. Dry means raw audio. I would almost always mix these, just so I have something that sounds a little more natural. The next guy I have is going to be Vex. Vex is a cyborg. And I'm going to show you some of the fun guys that I have. I have over 2,000 effects or 2,000 plugins. So I have one called Ovox. I would definitely be putting Ovox on because he is a cyborg. And for him, I would go into the presets, not this top guy up here. I got told by Waves that this almost, you get a 50-50 shot if this works or not. But this guy here that says full reset, you click down, you can actually see them sorted into categories. And I would come down in here and let's see where he is. There's a robot voice in here. Here's a really cool villain voice as well. You have Growly if you're doing shifters, like werewolves and things of that nature. This comes out good. Half Eerie would be a good one for this guy, and I'm probably going to put it on for right now. So Ovox is one. This is a demon. I would absolutely put a demon on him, but if you get the Pro subscription from Isotope, which includes the RX, it also includes Neutron, Nectar, Voice Doubler, and a few other really cool things. So I'm actually going to open my Isotope. So down here it's by brand. And you can see I have Pro Insight, Nectar. I have 3 and 4 because I've had it so long. Nectar 4 has what's called Backer. And I'll just open that right quick. Backer has different voices. A lot of these sound robotic. I'd actually think about putting Johnny on for Vex because he sounds so robotic. But you can play with these guys. Another one is if I put on Neutron 4, which 2 different programs, go up into where it says default, click on that, come down. At the very bottom is where I would recommend playing. You have one for presets on just dialogue. You can control so much and make so many good voices playing right in here. Here's a monster truck arena, so that big booming announcer voice. Movie theater trailers, that one's really wicked to play on. You have the simple podcast, which cleans a lot. But I kind of like hitting the sound effects area because I can get an evil sea voice. So if you're doing a sea monster, you can get all kinds of different really cool things out of here. But down here is vocals. Vocals is another one I use quite often. because you can take and push your characters back and bring them forward, move them left and right. You can go down and do something which is called tape saturate. Makes you sound like when they had these little things called tapes that you put into a machine to play your music, because we didn't have digital before the 90s. But I would play with these, definitely play with these, because you can find a lot of cool things in here. And for $20 a month, and that's US dollars, I get so much out of this. So that's Neutron. Now, I also use, and you can see I have a lot of different things. I use Melda Production as well. Melda has a pitcher. I will use the pitch. M Character. And going up to this little guy here opens your presets. And they have some really wicked presets in here. One thing I will tell you, don't be afraid to use the instrument presets on your voice, because it can create some really cool effects. So adding woodwinds preset to you could give you a wispy sound, whereas using the bell sharpener will give you a darker tone, because it goes opposite of the natural sound. So if it's a high-pitched instrument, you're going to go lower in tone, so get bassier. And if it's a bassy tone, it tends to bring you up and make you a little higher so that it sounds clean. Yes, they have nasal voices in here if you need that. Extreme throat. If you have a older person, these work really nice. Again, this is M Character by Melda Productions. And no, I'm not sponsored. I'm just showing you that I will set a bunch of these until I have what I want. Once I have my characters set, everything's the way I like it, the next thing I do is I will go Control All, which takes everything that's on here, and I will delete it. So Command A or Control A will delete everything, including your noise floor. I will take everything off. And at this point, we're almost done. So we have already routed everything up here to our bus that needs to be on the bus. You do not route your noise floor. You always give yourself an extra character line or two, because you never know, there might be somebody that needs to be in there. If you do sound effects, you would put those underneath of everything else. If you do music, you would put it down here as well. So if you double click, you could add a track. Mine is set up, and I don't know how to undo it, where it comes up with everything. But that's how you set that one up. You can just add, say you need a music. That's where you would put it. Next thing I would do is go to File, go down to Project Templates. So File, Project Templates, save project as a template. And then this one is called Whispers of the Damned. And then I'm going to go and save that. So at this point, you should have all of your effects on. So if you put a compressor on, you're cleaning your voice, you have all of the unique characteristics you want all set up here. Then you go up to File, you'll save it as your template. Now it's time to go and have some fun. So I'm going to open another tab. You would obviously save this under whatever your project is. Well, now I'm back to my basic startup. I'm going to go up to File, Project Template, Whispers of the Damned, and everything comes up every single time. And then it'll cue me to save here. And this is where you save. You don't save the empty one. So at this point, I would save it chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter whatever it is. And then go ahead and start recording. Always record on your narrator line. The narrator has more lines than anybody else in the project. So record here. We'll cut and paste everything at the bottom. For now, I think that's all we're going to do. I will have an entire series on how to record everything. And when I do come back, I will actually have the correct effects for each character all lined up. And I will show you how to do some editing. So I hope you enjoyed this, you learned something, and I will see you in the next one.